Today we will be discussing about cylinder. We have already discussed about hexagonal pyramid, and I have shown the animated video of a pentagonal pyramid. So both are same. So we'll be having only different kind of slant edges, and also we'll be having different kind of triangular faces. And also we have discussed about square prism and square pyramid, and also cone. Okay. So today we'll be discussing about cylinder and cube and square prism. Okay, so I will try to complete 3 problems within our today's class. Okay, so you have to submit this classwork within Friday, Wednesday. So try to submit within Wednesday. So first problem is a cylinder problem. A cylinder of diameter 40 mm and height 60 mm, having its axis vertical. So having its axis vertical, it is a simple word, but you have to understand that it is vertical for horizontal plane. So how we can say it is vertical? அதாவது ஒரு காம்பனண்ட் வெர்டிக்கலாக இருக்குன்னு எப்படி சொல்லலாம்? நம்மளோட ஃப்ளோருக்கு வெர்டிக்கலாக இருக்குன்னு சொல்லுவோம், கரெக்டாக? சிமிலர் டு தட் அவர் ஃப்ளோர் இஸ் அ ஹாரிசான்டல் பிளேன். Okay, so this cylinder is vertical towards horizontal plane. That is what the condition, and it is cut by a plane. So here there is no word about section plane. Okay, so you can have a word that it is cut by a plane. So what is meant by that? It is a section plane. Okay, so it is cut by a plane perpendicular to VP and inclined at 30 degree to HP. So we'll be having the section plane in the front view. So you have to draw the sectional top view. That is what our condition. So look at this. So we have to draw the sectional top view. So if we are creating section plane in front view, then we'll be getting the sectional top view. If you are creating section plane in top view, then you have to create sectional front view. So, and what is meant by this? The plane bisect the axis of the cylinder. What is the explanation of this? We have already discussed about the bisecting of axis. So what is meant by that? Bisect of axis. Anyone? Anyone can respond for this. Okay. Roll number 2. Roll number 2. Can a class representative please ask roll number 2 to call me? Okay. So not now, after completion of this class. Class representative.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will mark roll absent for roll number 2, and roll number 50, 50. What is the explanation of this particular highlighted word? The plane bisect the axis of the cylinder. ஆல்ரெடி இதை பேஸ் பண்ணி ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் பார்த்துட்டோம். நீங்கள் கிளாஸ் ஒர்க் சப்மிட் பண்ணிட்டீங்க. அதனால தான் கேட்குறேன், வாட் இஸ் த எக்ஸ்பிளனேஷன் ஆஃப் பைசெக்டிங்? ஏமா தெரியுமா தெரியாதா? அதுக்கும் பதில் இல்லையா? ஓகே, ரோல் நம்பர் 31.
sir.
நீங்க சொல்லுங்க, what is the explanation for this word? The plane bisects the axis of the cylinder.
Center, sir.
Center point. Okay. So correct answer. That means it is a center point of the cylinder axis. So here the axis height is 60 mm. So you have to create a point exactly at the center. That means 30 mm from the base and 30 mm from the top. So it should have a equal distance from the base, and also it should have a equal distance from the top. So 30 mm is the right answer. So you have to pick a point exactly at the center of the cylinder. Then you can create a section plane with an angle of 30 degree towards HP. Okay. So what is our objective? You have to draw the circle in the top view because axis is vertical. So you can create the horizontal line. Okay. Then you can create a circle in the top view because it is our because the axis is vertical. So the circle diameter is 40 mm, and you can divide the circle into 8 equal parts, and you can name the each and every point with two notations because it is a cylinder, it is not a cone. So if it is a cone, you have to create only one notation. So if it is a cylinder, you can create two notations. So it is your own choice. So you can choose your own notations. Okay. Then you can project all the points towards top view, sorry, front view. Then you can create an axis. Since it is a cylinder, you have to create a rectangle in the front view. Because if you are looking a cylinder uh, from the front view, it will look like a rectangle. Okay, so you can create a rectangle, and these central divisions should be marked with the 2H pencil. Okay, so only the outer lines should be highlighted. Okay, so after doing this notation, you can start working on your uh, creation of a section plane. So for that, you have to pick a center point exactly at the center because the condition is plane bisecting the axis. Okay, so the total height is 60 mm. So you can create, you can pick a point exactly at the center. Okay, so after doing this, you can create a section plane with an angle of 30 degree towards HP. So that means either you can create 30 degree from this direction, or else you can create 30 degree from this direction. It is your own choice. So ரெண்டு ஆங்கிளுமே 30 டிகிரியா வர வரலாம். புரிஞ்சுதா? So you can choose your own section plane position. Okay. So like this, we have created a section plane. Okay, so with an angle of 30 degree, so it should touches the center of your axis. Okay, then you can highlight only this particular line. Okay, you can highlight only this particular line. Please remember one thing carefully. uh, it is a section plane. So the condition of creating the section plane is that you have to highlight the extreme end. அதாவது இதுவும் நீ highlight பண்ணித்தான் ஆகணும். But this particular point and this particular point should be highlighted very dark. Compared to this, it should be highlighted very dark. We have discussed about this in our first unit introduction itself. So please do that. Then you can remove the top portion. Okay, so the top portion can be removed, and you have to highlight only the bottom portion. Okay, so in this diagram, okay, so in this front view, we have totally removed the top surface. So the top surface has been totally removed. Okay, for example, if you are creating a line like this, அதாவது உன்னோட டாப் சர்ஃபேஸையும் டச் ஆகிட்டு போகுது அப்படின்னா, you will be having one of with section and one of without section. But here, the total top surface has been removed. Okay, that means you can highlight all the circles with a hatching line. Okay, and also you can mark the points. So this particular point can be marked as 1 dash, and this particular point can be marked 2 dash, and this one is 3 dash, and this one is 4 dash, and this one is 5 dash. ஸோ இங்கே நொட்டேஷன்ஸ் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம 4 நொட்டேஷன்ஸ் தான் இந்த வீடியோவில் கொடுத்துருக்கோம். ஸோ you can mark all the 8 notations. So 1 dash, 2 dash, 3 dash, 4 dash, 5 dash. Again, this one is 6 dash, 7 dash, and 8 dash. But 6 dash, 7 dash, 8 dash should be marked within bracket. Okay. அதாவது டாப் சர்ஃபேஸ் ஃபுல்லாக ரிமூவ் பண்ணதுனால இந்த 8 பாயிண்ட்ஸும் உன்னோட 8 கட்டிங் பாயிண்ட்ஸ் தான். Okay, so this one is 1, and this one is 2, this one is 3, this one is 4, and this one is 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8 is not visible from the front view, so you can mark 6, 7, 8 in within bracket. So here in this video we have marked only 4 cutting sections. Sorry, 4 cutting points. Okay, so அதனால தான் 1, 2 dash or 4 dash and 3 dash mark பண்ணிருக்காங்க. If you are creating 8 points, then 6, 7, 8 is not visible. And also you can mark the hatching line on the entire circle because the total top surface has been removed. So after doing this, you can create a imaginary reference line. Okay, so this reference line should be parallel to the cutting plane. Okay, so like this you can create a imaginary reference line with the name of x1 and y1. Okay, so x1 and y1. So after that you can project all the cutting points with a vertical line. So that means the line should have a 90-degree angle with the section line. Section line already inclined இருக்கிறதுனால 90-degree line வந்து உனக்கு vertical இருக்காது, inclined தான் இருக்கும். So compared to this particular angle should have a 90-degree. Okay, you can project all the points, then you can measure the distance between the reference line towards this particular point. Okay, so you can measure the distance between the horizontal line towards this point number 1, and you can mark a point. Then you can measure the distance between point number 2, and you can mark the point. So 4 பாயிண்ட் மட்டும் பண்ணீங்கன்னா உன்னால ஒரு ப்ராப்பர் எலிப்ஸ் ட்ரா பண்ண முடியாது. Okay, so please mark all the 8 points. Okay, so you can measure the appropriate vertical dimension, then you can mark all the vertical dimensions in this projection line. Okay, then you can mark the notation as 1 1 2 1 3 1 4 1 5 1 6 1 7 1 8 1. So if you are connecting all the points, you will be getting a ellipse. Okay, so here the points are not marked with the notations. Only 4 points are marked, so you can connect all the 4 points. So you will be getting a ellipse. And also you have to create the hatching line in between all the ellipse part. Okay, so this is what our final true shape. Kind of procedure is same for all kind of solids, but only the section plane concept is different. Okay, so any doubts? So do you have any doubts in this cylinder? So you can draw this cylinder for our today's class work, and I will show you one more video related with cone. So we have already discussed about a cone, so I will show you the video. So please look at this. A cone base 40 mm diameter and axis 60 mm long rests with its base on HP. So it is cut by a section plane perpendicular to VP, parallel to one of the end generator, and passing through a point on the axis 25 mm from the apex. So I will show you the final diagram. So this is what our final diagram. Okay, so we have already discussed about this same diagram. Okay, so we have already discussed about this, but the condition was different. So what was the condition? The true shape will look like a parabola. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் பார்த்து ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? The same kind of condition here, the condition is totally different, parallel to one of the n generator. The section plane is parallel to one of the n generator. So here this one is a generator and this one is another generator. So we have created this section plane that is parallel to this generator, and also the cutting plane should have a passing through a point on the axis 25 mm from the apex. So here you can pick a point with a distance of 25 mm from the apex point. So this one is apex point. So you can pick a point exactly at 25 mm away from the apex. So this point is having a distance of 25 mm from the apex. So with reference to this point, you can create a section plane. So that section plane should have a parallel with this generator. Okay, so இந்த ஜென்ரேட்டருக்கு பேரலாகவே வந்து என்ன பண்ணியிருக்கோம், ஒரு செக்ஷன் பிளேன் கிரியேட் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஸோ இஃப் யூ ஆர் டூயிங் தட், then you can project all the points towards top view. You'll be getting a diagram like this, and you'll be getting a parabola like this. So we have already discussed about this in our previous class itself. So this problem. So this problem is equal to our previous problem. A cone base 50 mm diameter and axis 65 mm long rests with its base on HP. It is cut by a section plane such that true shape produced is a parabola of base 35 mm. இது நம்ம ஆல்ரெடி டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிட்டோம். The condition is different, but the final diagram is similar to this problem. So look at the final diagram. So the final diagram is similar. Here also, this section plane is parallel to this generator, but this particular distance is not available. So for that, you will be having a parabola of base 35 mm. So you'll be creating a base, that means a vertical line with a distance of 35 mm, and the starting point and the ending point should touches this circle. So after creating this, you'll be projecting this vertical line towards base. Then you'll be creating the section plane with parallel to generator. நம்ம எப்படி செக்ஷன் பிளேன் கிரியேட் பண்ணுறோங்கிறது தான் டிஃப்ரெண்ட், பட் த டயக்ராம் இஸ் சிமிலர். ஸோ இன் அதர் சாலிட்ஸ் the procedure is similar. Okay, so you have to follow the same procedure for all kind of section of solids. அதனால தான் சொல்கிறது, கண்டிஷனோட டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் புரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க, அதாவது செக்ஷன் பிளேனோட டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் புரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. Then you don't have to worry about each and every problem. Okay, so இது உங்களுக்கு கிளாஸ் ஒர்க் வேண்டாம், பிகாஸ் we have already did this class work. The cylinder மட்டும் class work number 1, and next one is cube. Okay, we will discuss about cube. So what is meant by cube? So we can call cone will comes under pyramid. Similar to that, cube will comes under prism category. Okay, so for example, you can call that as a square prism also. We can call cube as a square prism also, because all the sides will have a equal distance. The cube will have all sides at equal distance. Okay, so you'll be having only one dimension for a cube. A cube of side 25 mm. That means length, breadth, and height is equal to 25 mm. Okay, rest on HP on one of its faces. Okay, rest on HP on one of its faces with a vertical face inclined at 35 degree to VP. So what is the condition? You have to draw the square in the top view. Then that particular square should not be should not have a parallel to reference line, or else it should not have a perpendicular to the reference line. So the condition is the square should have 35 degree towards the reference line. So you have to create a inclined square. Okay, and after that you will be having the condition for the cutting plane. A plane perpendicular to HP and inclined at 50 degree to VP cuts the cube 3 mm away from the axis. So 50 degree to VP. So look at this. The cutting plane is having an inclined angle 50 degree to VP. ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி வந்துருச்சுன்னா நம்மளுக்கு எங்கே கட்டிங் பிளேன் வரும்? எய்தர் இன் ஃப்ரண்ட் வியூ ஆர் எல்ஸ் இன் டாப் வியூ. 50 degree to VP. So if it is inclined to VP, then you have to create the section plane in the top view. If it is HP, you have to create in the front view. Okay, so the condition is same. So that particular cutting plane should cut the cube 3 mm away from the axis. That means you have to create a circle with a radius of 3 mm. Then you can draw the top view and the sectional front view. So look at this. So in this solid, you are having a cutting plane in the top view. So you have to draw the sectional front view. And also you have to draw the true shape of the section. Okay. So incorporating all the condition, you have to draw the top view. Or you have to draw the square in the top view with an angle of 35 degree. Have a 35 degree inclination. Then you can project all the points towards front view. So in front view, you have to draw the rectangle because it is an inclined top view. So it will look like a rectangle. Okay. So this particular corner is visible. So you can mark the dark line, and this particular corner is visible. So you can mark the dark line, and also this particular corner is visible. You can mark the dark line, but this corner, okay, is not visible. So you can mark a dotted line for this corner. Then please mark the center point also for this cube. Okay, so the center point will be at here. Okay, at the center place. So the condition is that the section plane should have a 3 mm away from the axis. So you can mark a circle with a radius of 3 mm. Okay, so the radius should be 3 mm. So the center point is the axis point for this cube. Okay, so you can mark a circle with a distance of 3 mm. So the center point can be marked with the two lines. அதாவது ஒரு ரெண்டு லைன் ட்ரா பண்ணுங்க. So you can connect all the center points with the line. So இந்த சர்ஃபேஸோட சென்டர் பாயிண்ட் அண்ட் இந்த சர்ஃபேஸோட சென்டர் பாயிண்ட்டை ஒரு லைனால ட்ரா பண்ணீங்கன்னா you'll be getting a single line. Similar to that, you can mark a line for these two surfaces. So the two intersecting lines will be marked as a center point. Okay. Then you can draw a circle. Okay. So after creating the circle, you can mark the inclined plane with an angle of 50 degree. Okay. So this particular 50 degree should passes through the circle. ஸோ அதுக்கு பதில் என்ன பண்ணியிருக்காங்க அப்படின்னா 3 mmக்கு பேரலாக ஒரு லைன் கிரியேட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க வித் an angle of 50 degree. ஸோ 50 டிகிரிக்கு ஒரு லைன் இந்த சென்டர் பாயிண்ட் டச் ஆகிற மாதிரி கிரியேட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. சிமிலர் டு தட் we have created another one more line with an distance of 3 mm because it should have a 3 mm distance from the axis. So you can draw a circle or else you can draw a parallel line towards that. But the angle of this line should have a 50 degree. Then you can highlight this particular line. Then you can remove the smaller portion. So this is a smaller portion. You can remove this. Then you can highlight the remaining portions. Okay, so you can highlight the remaining portions. So you can project the cutting points. So here we are having only two cutting points. Normally it will be marked with two notations because the top surface is also having a cutting point and the bottom surface is also having a cutting point. So you can project this cutting point up to this. Then you can project this cutting point up to this vertical top surface. Okay, so you'll be having two vertical lines. இந்த பர்டிகுலர் லைன் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ரிமூவ் ஆயிடுச்சு கரெக்டா. ஸோ திஸ் பர்டிகுலர் கார்னர் ஹேஸ் பீன் ரிமூவ். ஸோ யூ டோன்ட் ஹாவ் டு ஹைலைட் திஸ் வெர்டிக்கல் லைன். So you can create a hatching line in between point number 1 and point number 2. Okay, and this particular corner is not removed. So you have to create a dotted line for this. But hatching line க்கு உள்ள dotted line create பண்ணக்கூடாது. It is a condition of engineering drawing. So if there is a dotted line available in between hatching line, you don't have to show that dotted line. So you can remove this dotted line also. Okay, so in top surface we are having 2 cutting points, and bottom surface we are having 2 cutting points. So this one can be marked as 1 dash, and this one is 2 dash, and this one is 3 dash, and this one is 4 dash. So you can highlight this rectangle, and also this particular portion is also visible. Okay, so you can highlight this one too. So after doing that, you can create the section line in between this 1 2 3 4 rectangle. The dotted line, it is not necessary, but in some textbook you can able to see the dotted line also, but the condition is you don't have to show the dotted line in between the hatching lines. Okay, so like this. So after creating this hatching line, then you can start working on creating the true shape. So the true shape should have a, before that you have to create the imaginary reference line that should be parallel to the section line. Then you can project all the cutting points towards the reference line with an angle of 90 degree. Okay, so you are having 4 cutting points, right? So 3 and 4 is on the reference line, so you can mark this point as 4, and you can mark 1 dash with a distance of 4 dash to 1 dash. So you can mark the distance. Okay, similar to that you can mark this point as 3. Okay, then you can mark 2 with this vertical distance. Okay, so with this vertical distance you can mark the point 2. So you can join all these 4 points. After creating this, you can mark all the 4 points with a dark line. Then you can highlight with a hatching line. Okay, so this is the true shape of this diagram. Is it clear? Any doubts? Do you have any doubts? Okay, now in the last diagram, I have 15 more minutes. I will show you the last diagram. Okay, so far now we have discussed about cylinder and cube. So 2 problems. Cone draw பண்ண வேண்டாம் because cone நம்ம already discuss பண்ணிட்டோம். So next one is a square prism. Okay, so square prism is also will look like a cube, but only the height will have a different dimension. Okay, height will have a different dimension. That is what the condition. Okay, so a square prism, side of base 40 mm and axis 60 mm long, rest with its base on HP. So since the base is on HP, you have to draw the top view with the square. But you have to look at that whether the square is a parallel square or else it is having inclination. So look at this. One of its rectangular face is inclined at 30 degree to VP. Okay, so then you have to create a square with an angle of 30 degrees, similar to our previous problem. So cube எப்படி பார்த்தோமோ அதே மாதிரி you have to draw the square with an inclination of 30 degree. Then look at the condition for section plane. A section plane perpendicular to HP and inclined at 60 degree to VP. So it is having an inclination of 60 degree towards VP. Okay. So here also you have to create the section plane in the top view because it is 60 degree to VP. Okay. Then passes through the prism such that the rectangular face which is making 60 degree with VP is cut into two halves. So it is cut into two halves. So this condition is somewhat different from our previous problems. Then you have to draw the top view and sectional front view and true shape of the section. Okay. So I will tell you how to draw this condition, section plane condition. So initially you can create a 30 degree inclined line. Then you can mark the square. Okay. So you can mark the square. And you can project the square towards front view. Before that, mark the notations. Since it is a prism, you have to mark two notations for each and every corner. Okay. So you can mark A of A1 or else A of 1 or B of 2. Similar to that, you can mark the necessary notation. Then you can project these each and every four corners towards front view. Here the height is 60 mm because it is a square prism. Okay, so you'll be having a different height. So the difference between cube and square prism is that you'll be having a different height in square prism and you'll be having the same height in the cube. So that is what the difference for square prism and cube. Okay, so after doing that, what is our the condition? You have to draw the section plane. So the section plane should have an inclination with 60 degree towards VP and also passes through the prism such that rectangular face which is making 60 degree with VP is cut into two half. அப்பனா என்னப்பா meaning? So we have already created this rectangle with an angle of 30 degree, but uh, any one rectangular face will have a 60 degree with VP. அதாவது இந்த சர்ஃபேஸ் 30 டிகிரினா இதுவும் 30 டிகிரி தான், பட் these two surfaces will have 60 degree angle. இதை நீ ப்ரொஜெக்ட் பண்ணி பார்த்த அப்படின்னா இதோட ஆங்கிள் 60 டிகிரியா இருக்கும். So that is what the basic condition for square. So if we are creating 30 degree for any one face, the remaining two faces will have a 60 degree angle. அப்போ நம்ம என்ன பண்ணணும்? Passes through the prism such that rectangular face which is making 60 degree with VP is cut into two halves. Okay, so that particular any one face should be cutted into two halves. Okay, so here you are not having a distance for that cutting plane. So instead of that, you have to cut the surface that is having 60 degree with VP into two halves. அப்போ இதுதான் உனக்கு என்ன ஆகுது? இந்த சர்ஃபேஸ் தான் உனக்கு என்ன ஆகுது? 60 degree இருக்கு, இந்த சர்ஃபேஸும் 60 degree இருக்கு. So you have to cut this surface into two halves. That means the section plane should passes through the center point of this particular face. Okay. And also with that, the section plane should have a 60 degree inclination with the VP. Okay, so you can mark the center point of this face. So for this line, it is having a 40 mm distance. So you can mark a distance of 20 mm. Then you can create a 60 degree inclined line because the section plane is having 60 degree inclination. Okay, so you can create a 60 degree inclined line, and that 60 degree inclined line should passes through the center point of this face, or else you can choose this face also. It is your condition, your own condition, your own choice. So you can create a dark line on the surface, then you can highlight all the remaining surfaces. Only the smaller portion has been removed. Okay, so similar to our previous problem, you can project this point towards front view and you can project these cutting points towards front view. So this particular corner is not removed, so you can highlight this particular corner also. So it will look like a vertical line in this front view. So here you are having four cutting points. So this one is 1 and this one is 2 and this one is again 3 and this one is 4. So you can project these points towards front view, similar to our previous problem. Okay. similar to our previous problem. So you have to create the section line in between 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one is 1 and this one is 2 and this one is 3 and this one is 4. So you can create the section line in between this 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangle. So this portion has been removed, so you don't have to highlight this particular portion. Okay, so you can highlight that. Then after that, you can start working on true shape. So the true shape, before that, you have to create the imaginary reference line. Either you can create the imaginary reference line in front of this top view or else back side of this top view. In the particular area create பண்ணலாம், or else you can create at here also. So you can project these points towards the imaginary reference line with an angle of 90 degree. Then you can mark all the points with this distance. So 3 and 4 is on the reference line. So this point is 3 and this point is 4. But point number 1 and 2 is far away from the reference line. So what is the distance? That is 60 mm. So you can mark the distance and you can create a cutting point with the name of 1 1 and with the name of 2 1 at here. Okay, so now you got all the cutting points 1 1, 2 1, 3 1 and 4 1. You can join all the points, then you can create the hatching line. Okay, so square prism and cube is similar, but only there is a difference is the height is having a different dimension for square prism. நம்ம ட்ரா பண்ண இதுவும் இதுக்கு முன்னாடி பார்த்த ப்ராப்ளமும் சிமிலர் ப்ராப்ளம் தான். But the cutting condition is different and the height value is different. Okay, so any doubts? Okay, Gana. That's all about this today's class. But in Wednesday, you are having a fourth tutorial. You'll be having 2 problems related with section of solids. Okay, the tutorial will start sharply at 1:45, but you are having class at only at 2:15. So you can start working on your tutorial from 1:45 itself. Okay, ஏன்னா உங்களுக்கு வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா டைம் பத்த மாட்டேங்குது. So you can start working on 1:45 itself. You have to submit the tutorial within the class time. So 1:45 start ஆயிருச்சு அப்படின்னா up to 3 you are having 1 hour and 15 minutes. So 1 hour is for solving 2 problems and 15 minutes is for uploading the problem in the Google Classroom. So those who are going to submit after 3 o'clock will be marked absent and also will be marked 0 for the fourth tutorial. ஸோ நான் ஏன் இந்த ஸ்ட்ரிக்டாக சொல்கிறேன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நிறைய பேருக்கு இந்த டைம் லிமிட் ஃபாலோ பண்ண மாட்டேங்கிறீங்க. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கேட் டெஸ்ட் 5 மணி வரைக்கும் சிலர் சப்மிட் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க. செகண்ட் கேட்டில் அது நடக்கக்கூடாது. ஸோ 4 o'clock செகண்ட் கேட் முடியுது. 4:15 சப்மிட் பண்ணிடணும். 4:15 மேலே நீ என்ன ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருக்கி அதை மட்டும் தான் சப்மிட் பண்ணணும். புரிஞ்சுதா? நீ எக்ஸ்ட்ரா டைம் எடுக்கவே கூடாது. ஒருவேளை உனக்கு கூகுள் கிளாஸ் ரூமில் அப்லோட் ஆகலை, நெட்ஒர்க் ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்குது அப்படின்னா இமீடியட்டாக என்னோட வாட்ஸ்அப் நம்பருக்கு நீ அந்த டாக்குமெண்ட்டை சென்ட் பண்ணிடு. உனக்கு நெட்ஒர்க் எப்போ கரெக்ட் ஆகுதோ அப்போ நீ கூகுள் கிளாஸ் ரூமில் அப்லோட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஆனால் நீ எப்போ எனக்கு சப்மிட் பண்ணுறியோ அது வரைக்கும் தான் நான் வேல்யூ பண்ணுவேன். அதுக்கு மேலே இருக்கிறத நான் வேல்யூ பண்ண மாட்டேன். புரிஞ்சுதா? இட் இஸ் a strict condition. Follow the time limit because for end semester exam you'll be having only 3 hours. Okay, so in that 3 hours you'll be having you have to submit a minimum of 6 problems. Okay, compulsory 6 problems வந்துரும். That means each problem should have 30 minutes time. Okay, so within 30 minutes you have to solve a single problem. Okay, பாப்பா. ஸோ அதனால தான் இவ்வளோ ஸ்ட்ரிக்டாக சொல்கிறேன். ஸோ கரெக்டாக டைம் லிமிட்டை ஃபாலோ பண்ணிக்கோங்க. ஸோ எனி டவுட்ஸ்? Okay, Anna. So with this hour, I am completing the portion for third unit. Okay, so the portion for CAT 2 is second unit and third unit. Okay, so you'll be having 5 2 marks similar to our first CAT, and also you'll be having 3 20 marks problem. So in that 3 problem, you have to solve 2 problem, a minimum of 2 problem. Okay, so the time limit is for ED is will start at 2:30. Okay, so you have to sharply assign before 2:30. Then the exam will stop at 4 o'clock. So you'll be having 15 minutes extra time for uploading the problems in Google Classroom. Is it clear?